Well, you just heard Weather Underground leader Bill Ayers deny and deflect when I pressed him on violent bombings blamed on the Weather Underground. In the 24 hours since we ran part one of our report, we have heard from local police and federal investigators who dealt with this group, including one of the first responders to a bombing that took the life of a police officer, thanking us for shining a light on this part of his story. Joining us now with more, former NYPD terror unit investigator Warren Sonne and former special agents for the FBI, Richard Giannotti and William Reagan. Gentlemen, thank you all for being here. You know, Warren, I tried to press him on whether his own violent rhetoric, because if you read the other writings of Weather Underground people, they talk about Ayers and his rhetoric in particular, which was very violent. And he told me, well, our rhetoric outstripped our actual actions. He refused to acknowledge that that rhetoric may have inspired things like that Brinks murder and other murderous and more violent behavior that Ayers didn't commit himself, but his people did.
I want you to look at this.
Megan, not only was that the case, but the Weather Underground was an offshoot, a much more violent offshoot of the Students for a Democrat Society. Bill Ayers was the founder of that unit. His proposition was the violent overthrow of the United States of America. For whatever reasons, right or wrong, he believed that was his mission. They conspired with militant groups such as the Black Panthers and the Black Liberation Army, whose sole purpose in life was to kill people, rob banks, do horrendous acts of terror. He was supported of all of them. His own group, which blew themselves up in Greenwich Village, I remember like it was yesterday, used anti-personnel devices. They put shrapnel, nails, into this bomb so they could bring it to Fort Dix, New Jersey, and blow up soldiers.
And just to make clear, inside that townhouse was his best friend and his girlfriend. These were not people who were distant from Bill Ayers. I got to get this in. I got to go, but I'll ask you,
Megan,
Warren,
I can
for
respond to that.
I'll ask you, Warren, for
Megan,
your final
can I just
word
add one thing
on Bill Ayers? Go ahead,
Yeah,
Warren.
my final word is Bill Ayers said he would consider perhaps doing this again today if the situation was correct. He used, and his bomb makers used, state-of-the-art technology back then. He would use that state-of-the-art technology again today, except today he'd be taking 11-year-olds and putting bomb vests on them and sending them out to pizzerias or malls. That's the kind of person that you're dealing with here. That's the mentality of this group. The hatred of America is astounding.
I got to leave it at that. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.